This month I read one of the classics, 100 Years of Solitude. This book has very beautiful writing. I have to admit at the beginning it was a little tough to read. I expected this book to be realism, but not mythical realism. This book does feel in a way like a strange fairy tale, but for adults. Obviously there's some things in the book, incest, mistreatment of kids. I'm gonna talk about spoilers here, but I don't think it is portrayed in a way of promoting it. I would even say the opposite. A lot of people get punished here. So we follow a story of a family, I think 5-6 generation in. They go through so much. Love, betrayal, war, resistance, poverty, wealth. I do have to say that most characters do feel like caricatures. Yeah, the only person that I can see living in real life is Ursula, the wife of the first Arcadio, the first man in the family that we follow the story of. And she tries her best to protect family members. Is it effective? No. And she's always trying to welcome everyone who enters the house. This book covers a variety of different topics, going from colonialism to destiny. There are some references to Banana Company Massacre. Big focus on destiny and how family members with the same names tend to share their destinies. And I do like that because obviously we influence all of our family members and all of the family members influence us in some way. Some traits are hereditary. I have to learn how to live with it. As I said before, there's incest between aunts and nephews in the family. It happened twice and I'm pretty sure they had the same names. The second incest, which happened to the latest generation of this family, wasn't intentional. I don't think they were aware that they were related. Both Amaranta, which is the aunt that participated in incest unintentionally, and her baby die after giving birth. I can see it being as a punishment for incest, although in this case they weren't aware of it. The same, I guess, could go for pedophilia. In second generation colonial Orleano, he married a 9-year-old. She died giving birth. I've read in some review that maybe it was a punishment for colonial for marrying a child, but then it is unfair that the child gets killed there. Overall, it's a very nice book. I will definitely read it again, maybe in a few years. Right after 100 Years of Solitude, I started reading just for the summer. That was a mistake. So this book follows two main characters, Justin and Emma. They both have a similar history of their exes finding their soulmate after they date them. So they meet through Reddit. Their plan is to date for a bit, break up, and then find their soulmate and the love of their life. And again, as I said, because I started reading this book right after 100 Years, there was a big difference in the writing style, the words that are being used. Just the premise of them meeting through Reddit feels so fucking unrealistic. I think characters are a little bit one-dimensional. I didn't believe in their romance that much. There's some things in the writing style and some words that were used that kept repeating and repeating. So, spoilers, our main character Emma, she has PTSD and she, as being described by the author, sometimes would feel small. That description specifically would annoy me so much because sometimes they would go further into explaining how she feels, but then there's like 3 or 4 times when other character would, when they talk, would refer to like, oh, she's gonna feel small, she's gonna leave. And then one day she did feel small. The next day the description was, yeah, I did feel small, but I feel better today. And I just hated it. And I don't know why. It just, that specific wording really got to me. The saddest part is I thought they were going somewhere in the last 100 pages that I like. I thought, again, spoilers, that they're gonna separate and they're not gonna be each other. So the disappointment I had in the last few chapters, it pissed me off. It pissed me off actually. Emma has again, major PTSD, very unstable mother, and she herself has panic attacks often. Justin, being a guy with 3 siblings he needs to take care of because his mom is in jail for stealing from non-profit. And that's the reason why she decides to leave and break up with Justin. But then 6 months later, not even a year, she said she's good and she comes back to them. They get together again, blah, blah, blah. I really hope for the ending of this book to be a separation. My favorite character is Emma's best friend Maddie. Emma has a best friend Maddie whose parents, two lesbians, adopted her. Emma's relationship with her foster parents are not super good just because, again, she has abandonment issues. She doesn't let people get too close to her. And I wish at the end there was some mention of them, that she tries to contact them more, maybe visit them here and there. But no, Justin, he's like 6 feet something, toned, muscly, perfect guy, and he was described multiple times, I think, as a gentle patriarch. It did piss me off that when he was telling Emma about how his mother is going to jail for stealing from non-profit. She started stealing in the same year when her husband passed away. What annoyed me is how Justin would have never connected the dots if Emma didn't mention it. He never thought about how maybe his mom started stealing because she wanted to feel more in control after losing her partner, and being a single mom is tough. I would not recommend personally. I finished reading the book Emma, and this book is just not for me. I found it just a little bit boring. Maybe it's a type of book I have to come back to in a few years. With some books, I do have hard time focusing on. I don't know if anyone else has the experience, probably, but when I read it, my mind goes somewhere else, and I don't think I comprehend what I just read, so I had to reread it multiple times. It was very exhausting for me. The book didn't really capture my focus and attention that well, although I did find some of the moments, mostly because of Emma's delusion, and I know the character is flawed and I don't hate the character, I just didn't enjoy her that much. And I know it's mostly a coming of age story, and this realization that everything you want is right in front of you. Very powerful, very cute. I just didn't think it was that entertaining to me personally. And I think I always have an urge when it comes to classic books to like them, partially because I want to seem smart, but I'm trying to let go of it, so I do have to admit that I didn't like that book that much. Also, I do know that this book is old, but the way that Emma cares about social structures and class is a little off-putting, which again is one of her flaws. It got a little tiring for me in the way she treated her friend as more of like a project for herself to just have fun rather than actually being there for her. I did not like that. The Boys, the ending of the show I started watching 7 years ago. I won't talk a lot about this because I have a feeling that everyone and their mother have already said what needed to be said. The ending was just disappointing, but not surprising. After the first 2-3 episodes, I knew that they were going into a direction I didn't like, if I have to be super honest, because I did not care at all. I also didn't really dislike it as much as other people. I thought the ending was fine. It's just the way how they got there annoyed me here and there. One of the things is obviously Kimiko blasting Homelander. It was so corny when she saw hallucination of French guy. I hate the French guy because he's a Israel soldier too. I just hate when in movies they use hallucinations out of nowhere just for the plot. I hate that. They could have just left it out. It would have been fine. It would have been better. I liked how Ryan, I keep calling him Henry. He just looks like one. I like how Ryan stayed with I thought it was cute. At least he'll have one stable father. And I did like how he didn't go with Butcher, because Butcher fucked him over so many times. And also the scene of them actually fighting Homelander was so cheap and so boring. This is supposed to be Amazon's most popular show. You couldn't have put more money into it? Come on. And yeah, I don't know what happened with the writers. I didn't know if there was a big layoff or ChatGPT was writing a script for them, but yeah, this ain't good. This ain't good. I love setup for the Soldier Boys spin-off, which I'm not gonna watch out of principle. I just hated how they used so much time here just to set that show up. One of the things I disliked about Boys in the previous seasons too is how cliffhangers never really go anywhere. One of the most talked about moments was Homelander killing a protester, right? How everyone thought he's gonna do some crazy shit in the next season because he knows that people don't care if he kills anyone or not. If I remember correctly, nothing really happened. And also how in the last season they all got separated, only for them to be reunited after one. My Worst Ex season 2 came out on Netflix, and mean, I've watched 3 episodes. I haven't watched a third episode, but I'll talk about only the Deadpool killer. That shit pissed me off. The footage of detective talking to the guy who potentially kidnapped and raped someone was insane. What did he say? I know a good guy when I see one. No, you don't. And the fact that he did get 1 week of probation and nothing else after is crazy. What do you mean you took DNA tests and then you just didn't follow through? No, they didn't do the test, right? They took DNA but they didn't do the tests. That woman, God bless her, she seems like a very, very kind person. And the fact that she was trying to warn people that this guy is not mentally stable online and people make fun of her and tell her that's not true just because he looks good. I don't even like how he looks. He's just tall, I guess. It didn't surprise me that people don't believe women, first of all, and disappointed but not surprised. RuPaul season 6. I wanted to watch older seasons just to compare it to the new ones, and I think we're gonna start watching the latest season. RuPaul had much more energy before that. He used to do skit, move, smile, laugh, cry even, but not anymore. I also have heard a lot of criticism about diversity in this show. This season we only have 2 black people, 1 Asian person, and everyone else was kind of just skinny white people, which I mean, part of it is because of the privilege. You have an opportunity to participate in something like that. But I would be very curious to see the newest season just to see if there's more diverse crowd there. I also don't like how not feminine drag is not really being recognized in earlier seasons. So we have a contestant Milk and they really want him to be glamorous. I guess more feminine and just conventionally beautiful. Bianca deserved that whenever she would help adore some other people, it would melt my heart. She's very sweet. One other documentary that I've seen was The Crush. It follows a story of 2022 collision with 3 passengers on board, 2 of them dying and 1 of them the driver surviving, Mackenzie Rila. The other 2 victims were her boyfriend and her friend. And this is a story of how not to raise your kids. I dislike her parents so much almost from the beginning. Zero accountability for your child's action. Obviously, documentary usually a lot of the times would present you things in the way they want. It's very hard for me to make any judgments. If I have to guess, it would be like a suicide homicide because there's no way she would try to calculate how to kill the other 2 or her boyfriend and not to die herself. But yeah, it's very convenient that you don't remember what happened right after you start driving the street where you start accelerating and just hit the wall at the end. No, you know what? I'm not gonna put more blame on the mother. Both parents maybe should go to jail with her. That's my proposition. They should be with her and maybe they can share the sentence together. Davian, so that's the friend who was in the car, which is very sad because her boyfriend and her, they had a very toxic relationship. And to be honest, I really don't like how at the beginning they started dating when she was a minor and moved in when she was a minor. And he was older. So I don't know where the parents were looking from both parties. It was inappropriate. I've watched 28 Years Later, Bone Temple. I love zombie movies. Zombie apocalypse was one of my greatest fears that I thought would come true maybe one day. So I would make up scenarios in my head to prepare myself for this disaster. I think now if something like that happens, I would just kill myself on the spot. I don't think I would even try to survive. I love the second movie of this trilogy much more than the first one. The first one was still very, very enjoyable. It had a lot of very good shots. I just loved zombies in that movie. Their movements and how they looked, everything was perfect. My favorite character was Dr. Kelson. The reason why I like the second movie much more than the first one is because he is the main focus of the story, or one of the main focuses of the story. I did find some of the characters in the second movie a little too campy for my liking. So the main villain was Jimmy. His story was shown in the first few minutes of the first movie. How his father was a priest, all of his sisters and his mom got eaten by zombies, so he lost his mind, and at the end of the first movie, our main character, Spike, meets him and his gang. I'm gonna go into spoilers here, so if you wanna watch it, which I would really recommend. So obviously I hate Jimmy for killing Dr. Kelson at the end. I was very sad that he died. I wish there would have been more with him. Also, I know English is not my first language. It was also specifically British reference, but whenever they would mention Old Nick, I had no idea they're referring to Satan until Dr. Kelson explicitly said it in the movie. The young actor Spike had the same facial expression throughout the whole movie. I'm not gonna give him a lot of shit for it. He's still like 10. I was so surprised to see Cillian Murphy at the end of the movie. Favorite part of the second movie was Dr. Kelson, his relationship with one of the alpha zombies. I forgot his name. I wonder if we will see this alpha in the third movie. I have watched a Netflix true crime show, Should I Marry a Murderer? This woman, she's very sweet. She needs a lot of help. It is always interesting to see women seek out specific type of men, traditional type of men, because I think oftentimes those type of women would oversee some of the red flags that maybe some other people wouldn't. And to me, it's also crazy how people don't talk about what values they have, because that man does not value human life. Brief synopsis: after a hurtful breakup from a long-term relationship, Caroline decides to find her love online. She gets matched with this person who lives quite far away from the city. He's a farmer. After a few months, they got engaged. He tells her that he actually killed the man. His corpse is buried on his property. I have to give her prompts because I wouldn't be able to keep my face. I have no idea how scared she was in that moment, being alone in the car with a man who told you that he killed someone. And it's so sad to see, because after watching this show, I would go on Reddit and just see what other people think about it. Victim blaming, so crazy. The fact that people are looking for a perfect victim, sure, maybe Caroline did not do everything correctly in this story, but she tried so hard. Even though she had insecure attachment style, substance abuse, even with that, she was able to pull through and tried helping the police as much as she can. Police fucked her over so many times throughout the story, put her in danger. She could have died multiple times because of how incompetent police was. Throughout the whole period, after she found out that he killed a person, she would do recordings of him that could have been used in court. I would be so scared to do that. And the fact that she did multiple times in a very dangerous situation, it's very telling of how much she wanted to help. And the fact that detectives basically told the suspect that their partner is main witness is crazy. And then they just left her with the suspect. It's so fucked. It was so irritating to hear the main chief, I don't know if he's main chief or the main prosecutor, talking about how she didn't really need them a witness support because they've been only in a relationship for a few months, and she's a doctor, she's very intelligent. I don't think we need it. Just say you fucked up, you didn't think it was that, but it was very serious. Just apologize. Even though at the end she told them that she is not in the right state of mind to be in court and be in front of people. No wonder she had that mental breakdown, especially because she was addicted to, I think, drugs and alcohol.